All right. So there was the whole thing with pushing us out of a tree. Um, not sure if that was implied in the name. Um, and then we went back. We went to town, debated on what our next step would be. We tried consulting my goddess to figure out Serenetta to figure out what we should do, and wasn't really given a whole lot of clear answers. So we decided to go back to the tree to try and get information on Push. We got there. After some time, Meepo was finally able to enter said tree. Um, and then we met with the druid who started giving us some information. And there were many druids that we met.
Okay, so it seems like most of the druids were actually starting to leave the tree. And it also seemed like everyone was very stressed out. There, you were stopped on the upwards ramp by Roxiu, this middle-aged looking dwarf who had styled his beard with woven saplings. When you got to the top of the tree was an elf named Aurora. She appeared to be like a human 30s, and she was struggling to take care of the tree uh, because the affliction that you guys had noticed yesterday had begun to spread much more, and that is where we pick up as whoosh. It's like there's a little bit of an accent on it. There's a little bit of an accent on it, but Peesh, spelled with a Y.
Gotcha.
Yeesh.
Uh, they said they wanted to talk to you about him. So we tune in to the top of the great tree canopy, and it's the whole party is there, along with the two druids, Roxiu and Aurora. So, and we'll kick off with Aurora looking very tired and wiping away sweat from her brow. It's like, so I'm just gonna start off and be forefront with you. We don't know what Push did to the tree, and we're trying to slow it down, but we can't make it slow down. So we're on a bit of a ticking clock here, so don't waste my time.
Sounds terminal.
Okay, well, and I look at everybody else. I said, so she said, don't waste her time. So let's just go. We don't want to be here if Push returns
Why don't we want to be here if Push returns?
because he's a dragon.
What? No.
He sure looked like a dragon. You didn't see him. You weren't
Katia
up here.
says, I don't think Push is a dragon.
Well, Push tried to push you off the tree.
Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit, but not a dragon.
See, that even that confused me because he said, I hope your friend catches you.
Well, it's a
No.
darn good thing I was in the process of running.
Yes, you have a kind heart, forgiving, yada yada yada, but he's an asshole.
Regardless, dragon. If it looks
Aurora
like a
says,
dragon,
I've known him for a long time, but I don't think Push is a dragon.
sure looked like one. Large, scaly wings, dragon.
So,
Dude, polymorph. You know.
so Levi, to give you extra context, he was still human sized. It's more of like, you know how kids will put on like Halloween costumes that have like backpack that is wings and gloves that look like claws. It was kind of like that. It's like he was still
But he didn't
very.
get quite as big.
No, he didn't grow at all. It's just like parts of his face twisted, and like he got scales on his skin and stuff.
Well, I look at Meepo. I said, well, he may not have been as large as a dragon, but it wasn't a polymorph because I've seen polymorph.
Roll Arcana.
I didn't even have this up. Okay. 14.
14. It definitely wasn't polymorph, but it didn't seem like a disguised self or anything like that, where it was like he was revealing something. It was more of like he was augmenting himself.
Well, as soon as I saw scales and wings, I was out of there. Luckily, it was fast enough that I could grab Katya on the way down.
I bet you're afraid of flying fish.
What flying fish?
Flying fish.
That wasn't no fish.
Well, you had scale. If they had scales and wings, you'd be out. So you would be afraid of a flying fish.
No. Well, if it was a fish human size, I may be.
It'd be a heck of a catch.
Anderson, I'm going to sleep. I'll turn it off in the morning.
Night, Hope. So I still say we should still pursue.
Do you guys know where he went?
No,
No,
we
that's
have
why you
no
came
idea.
to the druids.
We don't know where he went. We've been focused on trying to patch this.
Could you ask the tree?
Tree's not great for conversation, and Tree is feeling a bit sick right now.
Should we amputate?
Or burn it down, as you used to say.
You all hear a groaning from underneath your feet as the branches start to move.
I didn't say to kill you. You would still be alive. And don't act like you could feel pain.
You don't know.
I'm pretty sure it can.
I don't see no nerves.
I don't see no nerves in you, but I know you feel pain
I have nerves.
because I would have to cut into you. And even if I cut into you, I don't think I could see them right away.
Meepo, I need you to make. Need you to make a quick athletics save.
Athletics, oh lordy. Probably just say I fail because I'm not athletic. Let me check. Athletics save.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tree really hates Meepo.
Strength save.
Strength save. Same thing anyway. 8.
Meepo, as the groaning and shifting of the branches underneath your feet, a space opens up. Thankfully, even though you rolled low, you were literally able to grab onto a branch as you started to fall, and you were able to hold yourself for a moment, giving yourself enough time as Katya grabs onto your hand.
You know, that's just rude, Mr. Tree. We are trying to help you. Just ask the druids. We're just trying to help.
Are we?
You are sick.
Are we going to try and help the tree, or are we going to help ourselves? And just
Yes.
find something else?
We are one and the same.
Well, I mean, because the druids are busy trying to fix the tree, wouldn't it be best if we just let them do that?
Well, the druids can help us find out where he went.
And we also don't know what we're doing with this tree, I hate to admit.
We do what the druids tell us to do.
I thought we were doing what the wizards in the White Spire were telling us to do too. All we do is listen to other people telling us what to do.
Yes, that is life.
When are we going to decide something for us to do?
We did. We decide we're going to do what they tell us to do.
Well, maybe we should go to the White Spire and see what they
We already
have to
decided
say
to talk
about
to
it.
the druids.
Katya says, well, what do you think we should do, Levi? Because we've got problems that
Do we have problems?
we problems that we are at least tangentially related to.
Well, maybe we should stay away from the problems and just go away from them.
Well, I don't think I can.
You don't
It's
think
like-
you can?
I have run away from problems before, and they always catch up.
Well,
I don't think any of us could really run away from this one.
I mean, we don't even really know what we're running away from, Levi.
exactly.
We could run right into it.
Logan, what is a 6D? What is a DF?
I'm just messing around with the fudge roller.
Oh, I don't know what a fudge roller is, but okay.
You don't get one because you're not the GM.
Fair.
Well,
Now you can't see my
it
rolls.
seems like there's problems in the north. Seems like there's problems in the east. Maybe we should just go south.
What's
Kathy says south to Ammon, or further south.
Further south.
What, Baldur's Gate?
Now, maybe we'll keep going. Maybe we just need to go back where I grew up for a little bit.
Oh, that Katya struggles for the word.
To the
The arc-
islands. I'm
You know-
sure Meepo can see his flying fish then. Maybe they'll eat him. He's a good size.
Do they have fish that big?
In the deep oceans, I'm sure they do. There's a saying in the islands. There's always a bigger fish.
Oh, I've heard that one, says Katya. Roxu coughs under his breath. We're a bit off subject here.
Well, you guys can't really tell us where Push is, and you can't really tell us how to help you.
No, what we said was we don't know what Push did to the tree.
Okay, well, what can we do to help you then?
Find Push. It's like,
But
if
we
you
don't know where he went.
Do you have scrying? Do you have
No.
something?
That doesn't tell us anything, though.
We
just
do
see
have
him in a
scrying.
tree.
Well, I don't have scrying.
We just see him in a tree, though. How's that tell us what tree is or where the tree is?
I'm afraid he does have a point. All I can figure out is I can see,
Can you
but
show it
unless
to one of the druids who might recognize a tree?
but unless I see like a clear marker that I'm familiar with, and unfortunately I'm not familiar with a lot of the clear markers, it's hard to figure out where he might be.
Cool. Is there a way to show the vision to someone else?
We have. I'm able to cast scrying. It's like I'd personally prefer not to because I've been using most of my higher level magics to mitigate whatever damage he's done.
Well, if you want us to go find Push, then we need to know where, roughly where he is.
Do we have any other leads before I use my magics? It's like we searched his room and we found what looked like a popped mushroom, and some of his collection of dirt was gone.
Do we know if there's any significance with that collection of dirt?
You as players and characters, you've been curious, but you haven't really investigated.
Well, that's what I'm asking that guy about.
Push. He's been around. Aurora says much longer than I have, and he's been collecting bits of dirt from everywhere as he travels. He would always write them down in his journal whenever he thought something was interesting. but we couldn't find his journal either. So we never knew what he found so interesting about him.
I see.
Hintity hint hint. Because I think you guys may have forgotten.
Well, I don't have the journal.
Yes, you do.
Why do I have the journal? I
The,
thought,
the party has the journal.
yeah, I know somebody in the party has the journal, but I personally don't have the journal. Who has the journal? I thought it was Laura.
Probably, but
Or is it
ask.
Katya pulls out the journal. It's like, I need you guys to prompt me on some stuff.
Well, I was going to say, I thought we had already reviewed the journal.
No.
It was weird recipes and stuff.
No, that was a different book.
Oh.
Levi has a personal book that he stole from Asarak that he's been trying to figure out with recipes and stuff in it. When Levi tried to look over the breakfast table, look over the journal at the breakfast table, he read the last page, got bored, and then closed it. Because he rolled low on his intelligence. So Katya still technically has the book, and no one's actually read it yet.
Okay. I could have sworn somebody had did it. So I start rummaging through it.
Okay, make a general intelligence check.
Okay. Because I am, I don't even have D&D Beyond pulled up. So give me 1 second. I apologize for that.
You're good.
All right. Intel. That's an 18.
Okay, so click with the motivation that you have now. Where would you like to start? You'll be able to. I'll give you several good descriptions for an 18. Levi just rolled like an 8, I think it was. So he lost focus on the first page that he
Gotcha.
opened.
Well, I think seeing how we talked about the dirt, that would be the first thing I'd be skimming for unless something else caught my eye in doing so.
Okay. Flipping through the book, you see something postmarked roughly 30 some years ago in the Forest of Worms. In the dirt, he makes note of specimens dated here, date that it was collected, notes that no discernible growth from subject seem to unattach from organism before implantation.
So if I heard right, because I think I missed something. He talks about an organism that detaches before implantation.
Yes, I'm sorry. I've lost my notebook and all of this stuff. He says like he seems to be, as you're flipping through other passages in the journal, he's talking about some organism and how much it grows before it detaches and or dies within the host.
Does it make reference as to if this host has to be an intelligent creature or if it's a plant host?
It does mention, as you look through other books, like some other pages, some cases it mentions flora hosts, other cases it mentions fauna. It's very nondescript on what the host could be.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was any like specifiers as to the potential of it.
Other notes include like the maturity level of the specimen and stuff like that.
Does it talk about anything like what harms or kills the specimen?
There's often allusions to too much sunlight, excessive heat.
Okay. Does it talk about if it causes damage to the host?
Uh, there's whenever it mentions that early detachment, it does mention damage to the host, with the focus on the fauna.
Okay, now you have to educate me a little bit because I don't know the difference between fauna and the other word you used.
Flora is plant life, fauna is animal life.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. Does it mention like the extent of the harm? Like, is this like death or is it like injury that can be healed?
Flipping through more pages, it seems to vary in severity. Like for example, in the Forest of Worms, it mentions that the rapid detachment seemed to be lethal, and flipping through it some more in the High Forest, it seemed like there was a stable growth period, but it did not reach maturity before it died within the host.
Okay,
And
last
then,
question. Oh, go ahead.
and flipping through more of the pages, approximately 3 months or so ago in Daggerford, there's mention of a non-attachment, but lethality to the host.
I don't think I even understand that one.
So scrolling through it,
Yeah.
it seems like this has been a long period of analyzing something, something he is trying to attach to a host, grow to a certain point, and reach a stable maturity. It seems that over the course of going back at least 30 years, things have been there's been steady improvement in whatever he's trying to mark. But it's it seems like sometimes there's movement forward, sometimes it's falling back. There was an inherent, like one of the times that it fell backwards was the samples collected from Daggerford.
Yeah. Through reading this, just to make sure I have an understanding, does the language appear like this is something he created? Does it hint that this is something he's discovered and using, or did it hint that this is something that he is tracking?
Uh, the language would indicate that it is something that he has discovered and is using, not something he created.
Does he talk anything about its purpose and why he's using it?
It seems very dry and scientific
Okay.
whenever it mentions the dirt. But the parts where he gets a bit more flowery is where, like when he mentions the troop movements of the Waterdeep guards that left, that left yesterday, and going back, you can see like he seems to follow people's movements around the continent in large groups. Again, going back 30 or so years to the conflict between the Waterdeep province and Ammon.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't think I have any more specific questions. Ian and Eric, if you guys think of any, let me know. But that's all I can think of.
I mean, you were reading through the book. Did you relay any?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would tell you everything that
Okay.
I just discovered.
let's imagine it's all out loud.
So he's doing experiments with the tree, basically.
Sounds like it.
Aurora says it seemed that whatever he's been working on, he's finally brought it home. I don't know what that is, though.
Man, it's still funny to believe all that
Doesn't
time
help
in
us find where he
Daggerford.
is, though.
What?
Let's say all that time we met him in Daggerford, and leads to this. Or was that the other group that?
That was the other group that you accosted him in the graveyard.
Yeah. So we know he's been messing with it, with the tree. Well, we just need to find out where he is. I mean, or where he's looking for. He's obviously doing. Do we think he's doing experiments just on his own or for somebody?
With an 18, there's no mention of somebody else.
Well, then we just need to find out where dude is and go pick him up.
Stops him from running away again.
Well, we can chop off his foot.
Roxio actually snickers at that.
Fair.
So I guess the next thing's finding out where he is. And the best way to do that's with scrying and.
I mean, did he mention where he was going at any point?
I was going to say, I want to turn to the end of the journal and see if it gives any hint about what his next moves are.
There is the detailed language that I mentioned earlier about troop movements and when the guards, like when the assembled army of Waterdeep will be departing to get up to Neverwinter because of the war. And he knows that they're going to be passing through the Sword Mountains.
Well, that sounds like we need to go to this Sword Mountains place.
Is that like the name of an area, or is that just like a vague descriptor?
I mean, it sounds like
The Sword Mountains are a range to the north of us. In between them is the Mirror of Dead Men.
Do I want to know why it's called the Mirror of Dead Men?
Aurora says, boring history, black dragons,
dragons.
Back a castle long ago sunk into the swamp.
The mirror sunk into the swamp?
A kingdom sunk into the swamp. It's why it's now known as the Mirror of Dead Men. There was two twin brothers. They fought over control of the kingdom and unleashed a cataclysm. One brother unleashed a cataclysm upon the other, and not only did it doom his brother's kingdom, but his own, and everything was destroyed and sank into the swamp. At least that's what the story says Aurora. I wasn't there for it. Thankfully, the road leads around it. You can still smell it, though.
I see.
That should be fun to find.
Well, my guess then, after hearing this last part, is we go to the Sword Mountains.
Sounds like it. It sounds like we got to cut through the Mirror of Dead Men.
Can we? I wonder if there's any sort of teleportation. Is there anything that can get us there faster?
I mean, I do have transport via plants, but again, I'd like to hold on to my higher level magics.
Well, do you want us to find him quickly or not?
I do. It's like I'm torn.
Well, what would be quicker? Because we are. Can you show me where we're at on the map?
Waterdeep.
Okay, so we're there.
Yep. Sword Mountains are here.
Well, what if we just follow along the coast?
It'll be slow.
but then we don't have to cut through that swampy area, right? We can avoid it.
You can take the tradeway all the way up to Neverwinter. It's like the tradeway goes around the mirror, but the army will be taking that right now. So you'll definitely encounter them.
And that'll just slow us down.
Yeah.
But if
I
we
mean,
can
it
get
seems like-
teleported, we can beat the army to the mountains, and if he's trying to do something to ambush the army, us getting there first will be a benefit.
You make a good point. I am just torn because if this tree falls, then this is the end of 3,000 years of living history.
Well, if we don't find Push, it might be 3,000 years of history gone anyways.
Make a persuasion roll.
Can I assist him by saying, even if the tree does fall, isn't part of Druid teaching the fact that new life springs from that which died?
24.
Can't
go
y'all
ahead.
be cool like the Spore Druids?
Roll with advantage.
Let's roll it twice.
You like dead stuff and stuff.
Okay, 27.
I'm taking a gamble. I can put you roughly right in the middle of the tradeway. You'll be on the outskirts of the mirror.
Well,
I think
thought
that's
we wanted to be in the Sword Mountains.
So, okay, if you can see on the map, the Sword Mountains is a mountain range that's kind of broken up into two sides, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You got the lower half, which is close to Waterdeep, and you've got the upper half, which is close to Neverwinter, and right in the middle is the mare.
Okay, I think I see.
Here, let me.
Yeah, I had to zoom in a bit to see it.
Here, I'm gonna put it in green. So this is the tradeway.
So if there was a choke point, would it be right there where the Mayor of Deadmen is?
Yep.
Well, then that's where
Says
we
Rook.
need to go.
Going to the swamp.
Do you have everything that you need right now?
What do we need?
I
I'm
think
just
we're
saying,
pretty okay.
if I transport you guys now, I have to stay here. So whatever supplies you have is what you have.
Did we need anything? Look at the other people.
And I will take whatever the druid recommends we take.
Whatever equipment you need, be it potions, magic items.
Don't have anything I can think I need. I think I have everything on me.
Very
Donald's
well.
not happy.
Very well. If you would all join me at the bottom of the tree, I need to gather some things myself.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Aurora descends the tree. She disappears for a moment, leaving you up there with Roxu. You know, Push is kind of like a grandfather to all of us, says Roxu, finally. He's been here longer than any of us can remember. So
why is your grandfather trying to kill the trees?
we don't know. It's like for him to take such actions, I don't know what's going through his head.
Well, bash in his head and take a look and find out.
You see his mouth kind of pulls back in in a silent frown before he nods and begins to guide you guys down the tree. All right. Once you get to the bottom, as you were walking down, over the course of your conversation, most of the druids have left this tree. You see them walking around, leaving the center grove and disappearing under the canopy. Standing at the base of the tree, towards a particularly thick root, it's bigger around than Katya could wrap her arms around. You see Aurora standing there, but this time she has a long, gnarled staff in one hand. If you're sure you're ready, I'll send you on your way.
To the dank swamps we go.
Very well.
I hope we meet Shrek.
She pulls out her staff, and you see her write in a druidic language on the tree root. And as she finishes her inscribing, the letters begin to glow a bright green, much like that moss inside the tree. And then the light snakes its way, connecting all of the letters before splitting apart the tree root. And in front of you is a green portal. She's like, quickly, go through now, run.
Run through.
Mm-hmm. And
All right.
we go.
Is Levi going?
Oh yeah, we're all going.
Okay. So this kind of teleportation is different than the stuff that you did with the White Spire. With the White Spire, it almost felt like a gust of wind was blowing up at you from under your feet, and you felt the air almost be sucked out of you as you traveled. But moving through this one, it's more of like a 1,000 silk threads are touching every single piece of your skin at once. And it's like it's warm and soft until you step out in front of a different tree. This tree does not look anything like the massive oak that you were at before. This one is a gnarled swamp tree. You have to step out onto this this mess of roots as you have stepped out of this tree's trunk. Who's the last one through?
I guess it sounds like I was.
Okay. Levi, as you are the last one to step through, there's just barely too little room for everyone to stand here comfortably. Click being the first one, can you make a quick save for me?
Sure. What save do I need to make?
You need to make a dex save.
Deck save. And I'm sorry, why am I making the deck save?
As Levi entered through the portal, as everyone was standing on top of this patch of roots, above the acidic smell of the swamp that you guys now find yourselves in, you are pushed from behind, not from maliciousness, just from
well, I made a 9.
9. You weren't quite expecting it, and you try to fly, but it's only like a half glide before you you fall that 2 feet, just enough to get your feet soaked in the stinking muck.
Gotcha.
So we're like, ah. Looking around, it's that familiar smell of the marsh that you guys remember from so many months ago, but this one is more, there's more salt in this air. The trees are more dry and gnarled. This isn't a case of like this is a low-lying wetlands that's been fed by mountains. This is where a floodplain based off the ocean and the mountains have formed together to make this stagnant, stinking, muddy mess.
So it kind of smells like home, but kind of a moldy home.
Yes.
Interesting.
Uh,
Well, I can tell we're close to the sea.
Oh yeah.
Jonathan says, I don't usually, not Jonathan, Oliver. Normally, I don't get this dirty on adventures. It's more of a metaphorical dirt. The scum of this city, if you will.
And now you get the literal dirt to match.
Yeah. Oh well, it's a change of venue. That's
That
what I
is
was after.
How let's see, I know it's kind of swampy, but how what's the word for it? Like if I look up, how clear is the sky? Or like how clearly can I see the sky?
Okay, make a general perception check.
Okay. That's a 15.
15. You can see the sky, but it appears to be that there's some kind of storm growing from towards the sea, more so towards the center of the mirror of Dead Men.
Mhm.
You see a growing storm cloud. It
Now,
doesn't it doesn't lightning or thunder. It's just this large swath of gray that seems to be slowly growing.
now, if I recall, then army is also on its way up here, right?
From the south.
Okay. Can I fly up to see if I can even see the army?
Uh,
Or would I know like they're still pretty far back?
so based on what you've heard, the army left yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
With the army leaving yesterday, Katya, he says like they should be here in about a week or two,
Okay.
depending on like if it's March or double March.
Gotcha. Well, I don't suppose we should be wasting any time.
Well, where do you think Bush might be? I mean, can we...
A big tree.
A big tree.
Well,
Well,
we
lots
know-
of these trees are gnarled because of the salt water, but...
Well, we know he's in the Sword Mountains, right?
Well, that's...
That-
There's one set south of us, there's one set north of us.
That was going to be my question. It may be stupid, but do we know about if he's in the north or the south? Hello?
Are you
Hey,
asking me, or
Oh.
are you asking DM,
I was
or are
asking
you
the
asking
group,
the
but
party?
I was asking the party, but it got like really, really quiet, so I thought maybe I cut out.
No, you're good.
Mm-mm.
I just didn't know who you were asking.
Oh, you're fine. Though I do have an idea I might try. You said I could see a storm cloud coming.
Yep.
So, based off my basic knowledge, would that storm cloud already be over the southern end of the Sword Mountains?
It definitely seems favored more towards the south.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Scrying on Fish again.
I know you meant fish, but it sounded like
Push.
fish.
Sorry,
Fish. He shall now be named
Whoosh.
Fish.
my bad. I would like to scry on a fish.
Blub, 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 blub. The fish feels paranoid and is being watched. Blub, blub, blub.
Okay. What's your saving throw?
Give me one second. I'm trying to find it. There it is. Let's see. All right. 'Cause we haven't had a long rest since I last did this, so I'm using a 6th level spell, and I'm hoping this doesn't bite me in the butt.
Probably will.
Wisdom 16. Yep, Wisdom 16.
As you attempt to scry,
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
it's and you look into your or not your orb, your bowl of holy water, because that's how you scry.
Mhm.
The water's it's like it starts off cloudy, and what normally happens is it becomes shiny and reflective like a mirror, where you can see the person, but it seems like the water is swirling and slows and stops and begins to flatten out like you would normally see before it loses its shape. It seems the scry failed.
Yeah.
You know, I was really hoping I could scry on him and just zoom out as much as possible to see the sky. So then I could figure out where we were at. I thought it was like a great idea. I thought, yes, we're going to use spells for non-expected use.
Just remember.
You got more slots?
So
No, that took up both 5th levels, and that was my 6th level slot. So I got no more.
Just remember how Scry has to work. He has to make a save against it, right?
I'm aware,
Yeah.
but he's failed every single one.
Yeah.
Now we rest.
Finally got lucky.
Now
All
we
right.
rest.
Fine, we're gonna do it this way. Let me see where it's at.
Do it what way?
All right. Ah, man, never mind. I was gonna cast Commune and ask Serenetta, but
It is a
that's
ritual.
gone. Oh, it is a ritual. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do it as a ritual. Hey, oh no, scrying's not a ritual. I thought when I got my hopes up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll cast the Commune as a ritual.
Now, here's a question.
Yes.
You cast those communes yesterday, right?
Yes.
Okay. You're good.
Yeah, it says before finishing a long rest. All right. So I'm going to cast it ritualistically. I got my incense out. I have my necklace of pearls, and I start praying. And then when the spell has been cast, I'm going to ask Serenetta. We are aware that Push is in the Sword Mountains. Is he in the mountain range north of us?
No.
Is he in the mountain range south of us?
No.
So he is not in the Sword Mountains. Oh, is he in the Dead Men's thingy?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Thank you
Dead
very
man's
much.
thingy.
Thank you very much.
Serenetta knows what you mean.
What did you say no?
She don't give a damn about.
Dad,
What?
what did you say no?
It was a part of the game
And what did you say no again?
because that was also part of the game
And what did you say yes?
because that was the last part of the game.
That's a good thing.
I love your son's curiosity.
20Q. Has he gotten to the Y phase yet?
He's asked me to describe how a car works a couple times.
That's cool.
Have you gotten the endless chain of Ys?
No, not
Why?
quite.
Elliot
Okay.
is always, what's that? What's that?
Why?
Can you tell me how this works?
Why?
All right. So I turn to the group and I say, well, he's not in the Sword Mountains north of us. He's not in the Sword Mountains south of us. He's actually in the Mirror of Dead Men.
How
Levi
lovely.
looks around and says, like, with us right here?
I don't think like right here, but he's definitely in this region. So I think we need to be a little cautious and stealthy as we move about, and maybe try to figure out what we're gonna do when we encounter him, because I have no high level spells.
Just fly around and find him.
Yeah, look,
You
fly up and see if you can see a scrawny dude that looks like a miniature dragon.
well, just in case he's changed his shape, I'm just gonna fly up and see what I can see.
All right.
But also, if I fly up though, that's gonna make me at risk of exposure.
I mean,
Well, it's okay. You're used to getting hit.
aren't we?
You
all?
already did fly up once, didn't you?
No, not yet, because Kat told me that she believed the army was about a week away, so I didn't need to.
Okay.
I was initially going to, but she convinced me not to because it seemed like pointless.
Okay.
All right. I don't even know how to best do this. Because it's not like I look like a normal bird.
Bored.
And it's not like I have invisibility or anything like that, which would also be handy. You were going to say something?
I was trying to think, who could I Jaeger and help you out here?
Preferably somebody that has invisibility.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't have anything myself that would assist anyway. So this marsh, how big is it?
Oh, well, Katya has a general knowledge with maps of the area that are inside the province, because when she had to do patrols and whenever she got deployed. So it's several. Let's see. I actually have a scale on this map here. Yeah. So we'll say roughly one block is 100 square miles. So the marsh is roughly this big.
Okay. You know what? I can't think of anything else, so I'm gonna have to take the risk. So I go ahead and fly up and see if I see anybody around the vicinity.
Perception check.
Let's see here. That is going to be a dirty 20.
With the dirty 20, the first thing you again see is that ever-growing storm cloud.
Yes.
You also see signs of life throughout this marsh, or this mare. You see something that reminds you of the alligators that you would see. The alligators that you would see in the marsh. They look different though. Their noses are shaped differently. You see bits of ruin sticking up out of the mare in occasional places. Me. I need to use real dice. I keep getting the same numbers over and over. I keep hitting different apps. I don't mean to.
It's all good.
It's too far to really see any clear signs of humanoids. The oddest thing is that storm cloud that seems to continue growing. Almost like in a radius.
Okay. I want to go ahead and just pay attention to the storm cloud. Do I notice anything else about it? Like if I just focus on it from up here?
Make a nature check.
'Cause I'm super good at that one too. That's a natural 20 for a total of 21.
Nice. That storm cloud is too perfect. Too perfectly spaced. It's like seems perfectly round, as if it's emanating from something in a steady release.
He's perfect.
Do I see about, can I identify from it like where the center of it might be, like on the ground?
You
Sorry,
can't see
over
it,
my
but you get a general sense of direction.
Okay. I come down and I tell the group, I didn't see them, saw some really weird-nosed alligators, and there's a storm cloud that I saw earlier, but it's starting to seem unusual. It's not like another storm cloud.
Do you think Push can control the weather?
Well, potentially.
Wouldn't be the weirdest thing.
Arcana check for Levi and Click as our two casters that are here.
15.
That's a natural 1 for 6. There is balance in the world.
Yeah, you know clouds. You don't know what the heck druids can cast. You know that even like the highest order of clerics cannot control the weather. That is the god's domain. But, Levi, controlling the weather is not something that is completely out of the realm of possibility. But it also is serious level magic. Actually, I take that back. Clerics can use control weather.
Certain
My
ones,
bad.
I think.
But he's not a cleric. He's a druid.
Yes, he is. He is a druid, supposedly.
I ask Click, so the center of that, is it coming from kind of a central area? So if he was casting something, it would be the center of where he's at?
Possibly. That's my belief. Like, for example, and I'm only basing that off of the fact that when I use my spirit guardians, they're a circle or they're a dome, but I am the central point.
Okay, but how far away is that central point?
Well, I guess that would vary from spell to spell.
No, but you saw the cloud,
Oh, I couldn't tell.
so quite a distance.
Most likely. Potentially. Possibly.
So should we go to the center of that?
I feel like we need to.
What could go wrong?
You could get struck by lightning.
Cool.
Well, I guess we need to head toward the center of the clouds. Into the storm we go.
Hi ho, hi ho.
I'm not Jonathan, and I don't really know Oliver all that well yet. So whatever I say is going to be technically out of character. It's like, I feel like I've just joined you guys, and we're already dealing with weather controlling people. This is big step up from what I'm used to, but it is a change of venue, which is nice.
Well, at least it's
Um,
not dragons.
I just knew you wanted to get malaria in a swamp.
Well, no, it might be dragon. At least it might not be dragons.
But it might be dragons.
Well, you guys keep telling me that he wasn't big enough to be an actual dragon.
Yeah, probably not.
So if it turns out it is a dragon, I'm gonna turn each of you into a rat and throw you in a cage.
Nah, you'll be too busy running away from the dragon.
Yep, I might be. Because all dragons do is kill, but as long as I run faster than you guys will be killed first.
Unless we kill it.
You don't kill dragons, they kill everything.
I mean, they die sometimes.
Old age.
We literally found a dead dragon. I mean,
Old age.
I don't think they die of old age. They live really freaking long.
Meepo, make a history check.
Oh, Lord. What is my history? Not great. $20.
20. With a 20, you are very familiar with the lore of how dragons gave up their immortality to create kobolds. It is because of your race's existence that dragons can indeed die of old age. But, as far as you know, dragons live literally thousands of years, so you've never heard of one dying of old age.
See, I always thought that referred to more so they couldn't, before immortality meant they couldn't be like, I thought they gave up their ability that now they can get stabbed to death, but they don't age. Like that kind of like
No, they still age.
imperviousness.
They still age, and there is an end to their lifespan, but it's not like they get weaker with age. An ancient dragon would be something that's well close to 2,000 years old, and they'll probably get another 500 years of life, but they eventually will succumb to something, whether that be a sword or disease. Even they will one day pass away.
When they were immortal, did they just like stop aging at a certain point, or were they like born fully grown at one year?
No. It goes wormling, young, adult, ancient. And then ancient does not suffer any debilitating effects until they die.
But when they were immortal, though.
When they were immortal, oh, that was so long ago. As far as I know, immortal meant could not die, not even like from stabbing.
Mm-hmm.
But age 2.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, Meepo pops that lesson onto Levi.
Like I said, die of old age.
Hey Levi. Make a history check for me. Just because this place is so similar to where you grew up. You might have heard about this tangentially.
18.
Okay. The Mirror of Dead Men, with the twin kingdom that was eventually brought to ruin by their own mess. You have heard that there was a priceless relic that was lost in the swamp here, which always intrigued you when you were in the island, because that's such a similar place. Surely you could go there someday.
Do
But
do I know what that relic does?
it is a magical crown.
A magical crown.
Yes. There are two parts to it.
Well,
Uh,
I am not going to inform anybody about this.
right. Now, the part that does give you hesitation, though, is that you know that black dragons tend to live in the swamp and tend to be inherently greedy. So, if you've heard of this magical crown, it maybe have been heard by a black dragon at some point.
Um, well, I'm going to be very reluctant in doing that, but I'm still not going to tell anybody.
Okay. All right. So now all of you are in the Mirror of Deadmen. It sounds like you've made a decision to head towards the center of this cloud. Am I
All right.
correct?
I will be standing back.
Uh,
No, I am not going to go first.
okay. Now, much like when you guys were walking through the marsh, uh, traveling through this is exhausting work. To get to the center of this cloud, you are going off the roads and beaten path and having to trudge through ankle and sometimes knee-high muck. The smell is absolutely horrible. Moldy water with things that have rotten for long periods of time. Can I get a general constitution check from everybody?
Everyone.
Constitution.
Yep, as you are all walking through this muck.
Do I get advantage since?
Yep.
Since
When the movie's
That is-
over.
natural one.
14.
What did you get, Chris?
10.
10. Okay.
Keen.
So Levi is being a small body that he is, and is watching the other people trudge through the water. Is stepping on the hardened areas that he can. So he doesn't seem to be having too hard of a go of it for now. Click, your bird-like feet aren't the best for stepping through this muck. If only you were more stork than desert hawk.
Okay.
Meepo, when everyone else is up to their ankles, you're up to your knees. When everyone else is up to their knees, you're up to your chest. It's
Sounds
like
about
you
right.
you are getting okay. You're getting exhausted. You're gonna take 1 point of exhaustion.
What does that give me?
It's on a table.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. Can someone roll for Katya for me? I think she has like a +3.
Well, I rolled the exact same thing that I rolled for me. So that's an 8 plus whatever her mod is.
Oh
Okay.
boy. Advantage checks disability.
So it's Katya's also having a hard time with because of her armor. It's the mud is sticking to it, but she is conditioned to be able to handle this pretty well. And lastly, can someone roll for Oliver for me?
I will not.
What's his modifier?
I do not know.
Whatever it is, it's +4.
I
I'm
don't
sure he
think
gets he gets a +15, I'm sure.
no.
Very constitutional.
Uh,
Levi's walking behind everybody, getting frustrated.
Let's see. I got his character sheet. It's an old sheet, but I don't think he's leveled up since he's been with us. His con is +3, so he is also becoming exhausted. He has trained his back and arms for his crossbow, for his longbow. He has not done too much work on his legs.
Skipping leg day.
Yep. So Oliver also gets an exhaustion point. How long do you guys trudge? Going at the pace that you guys are with the speed you're able to manage, you've made it about a mile so far.
I desire to long rest.
Are we getting closer to the storm?
You've been able to pass underneath the storm cloud. Underneath the storm cloud, it is uncommonly cold, and it seems to be getting colder. The sun is completely blacked out by this black mass on top of you. There's also a steady breeze that seems to be blowing outwards from the center of this storm cloud.
Well, what is in the center then, but on the ground?
You cannot see. It's several miles away from what you would guess by the shape of the storm cloud.
Well, I prompt everybody to keep going.
What does everyone else think?
I think we need to keep going because there's no telling what's going to happen if we long rest.
Okay. Then I'm going to need everyone to continue to trudge and make another save.
Oh, boy.
This is a save, so we should have Katya's bonus, right?
Is it
Yep.
a save or a check?
Did I say check last time?
You did.
Yeah.
Oh. You're right. It should be a save. So Katya's bonus is what? +4?
I think so.
So what does that make everybody?
Let's see. That would be 12, 19. So that would have been a 23 for me.
Okay, that's still a pass.
It was in that one still, so regardless.
Mine would have been a 14.
That is still a pass. All right. Meepo would still fail with a
That one.
nat 1 with a 5 total. 4 plus 3 plus 4. Oliver just barely passes. So Oliver is not exhausted. Meepo is exhausted.
Well,
Once
that's 'cause
again,
people have
requesting to
short
rest.
legs.
Also, our cleric is missing all his high level magics.
Yeah, like
Probably
I don't
not
have
great
any-
to run into this guy right now.
I don't know what you guys are so worried about. Come on, let's keep going.
Well, I'm tired.
Do we need to take? Do we think we can take some time?
We need to get to the center.
Well, our caster is not short on magic. Is short on magic, and I am exhausted.
Well, it's not like we can pitch a tent in the middle of a swamp.
Sure, you can.
It'll sink. You'll drown if you lay down.
Yeah, we'll climb up on a tree or something.
There are no trees.
Find
They're all
something.
gnarled, and any weight put on them is going to break them.
Will it? Trees are pretty strong.
Make a nature check, Levi and Meepo.
Nature.
16.
15.
Okay, so Levi, you are correct. Any of the trees that are immediately around you are too weak to really support your party's weight. But Meepo, you know for a fact that there are trees that can grow in this kind of area and support weight.
I mean, there's gotta be like willows or some swamp variety loving tree.
Well, they ain't around here.
Did we even look?
Make a survival check if you want to look around.
Okay. 8.
Nah, Meepo, you're just not high enough.
Well, Mr. Bird,
Yes,
please look for tree.
a tree that can support your weight.
Sure.
Can I, as I look around, can I see if there is a tree that would support his weight?
Make a survival check.
Do I get advantage on this, seeing how, bird and tree?
If you fly up, sure.
Bye.
All right, I'll fly up a little bit and see what I can find.
Okay. Perception advantage.
Perception or survival?
Survival advantage.
Okay. That's a 15.
Hello.
Sorry, I was asked a question.
You're fine.
Understood.
With a 15, yes, you are able to find a cluster of trees. A cluster of trees that would be able to support your party's weight. Not in one tree, but you think that if you spread your party members around, you'd be able to sit and be dry for a bit.
All right. I come back down. I share this information with my party. So, yeah, there is a grouping of trees that we can spread throughout that will support each of our weights.
Okay. Yes. So what is the party doing?
They'll get me washing. Tomorrow they'll get me washing.
Click said
Do we want to go ahead and crash for the night?
I would like to.
All right.
I am exhausted, and you got no spell slots.
I got a few of the lighter ones,
You don't got the good ones.
the ones that are easier to cast.
You ain't got the good shit.
What do you think, Levi? It sounds like you're the tiebreaker.
I mean,
Tiebreaker.
fine, I guess.
What ties you break?
Levi, are you okay?
I'm trying. We've got to sort this out so we can get out of here.
Yes. I agree. And what can happen is, like, as we're resting, whoever stays watch can keep an eye on the cloud, and if anything funny starts happening, alerts us, and then we can make it there post haste.
Sounds good.
I mean, I guess,
Okay. So, last thing that I'll ask you guys for tonight then, how do you prepare your campsite so that way it's more comfortable? Because just sleeping on top of tree roots isn't going to be immediately comfortable.
I am no stranger to discomfort. I'm sure Click sleeps in trees all the time.
Yeah. I would
No,
just
almost time for bed, bud.
take some rope and stretch it across a couple of the branches and lay down some of my cloaks and fabric, and then have a little makeshift hammock.
All right, nice. I like that.
Do those ropes that drunk people used to pass out leaning over.
Oh, geez.
Sleep like that.
Dad.
All right. So as the party, I don't know if that came through.
Yes.
I didn't hear it.
I don't know what he said, but
Well, that was Laura. Anyway, as the yep, I'm turning it off. Just give me a minute.
wow, he's real impatient. Real impatient.
Yeah. So anyway, the party lays down to sleep in this cold, wet environment. Sleep may not come easily as they prepare to long rest, and that's where we're going to leave the party. We'll see if you guys actually make it through your rest at during the next session.